It's different because it's based on Ubuntu from the South African, the Zulus. This is where this word originates, and they say, I am because we are. And I think that when we realize that we're connected in our survival, we see it as an action word. It's no longer just like a noun. A sisterhood is not a noun for African people. It's a verb. It's an actionable thing. It's this women's work. It's womb works. So your sister is the one that's in the thick with you working. Your sister is the one that when you say, I got something to do, she's the one that shows you, right? It's something special about looking over your shoulder and knowing that somebody's got your back. For better or for worse, they're gonna try with you. I think that African sisterhood is a verb, it's an action, and it's continual. It's dynamic, like you said, because it progresses. It evolves. And one day you look up and we're no longer separate. Now we're one being. Like that Ubuntu is real. When I think about my food, I think that my sister eat. When I think about how I'm gonna pay my rent, I wonder if my sister's bills are paid. When I think about how I'm gonna progress, when I think about the next level of my career, it's like, let me see, I'm getting a promotion, or my business has an opportunity. Let me think about how I can get my sister in there. Yeah, hook her up too. Because now your sister is an extension of self. And when you do that work together consistently, when you're in that verb continually, it helps to facilitate that dynamic. It takes practice, and you fall out and you come back, and you fall out. It's this movement, this motion. That's African sisterhood. And so I hope that didn't go too far off.
I love
on
that.
the deep.
Yeah.
That was
on fire. I like that. Sisters here. Yes. No, that's one point. All of your responses were give us food for thought and were genuine and authentic. And as we move our dialogue along to talk about how African sisterhood could be used as a business model for development, before you can get to the business, you have to understand actually who your sister is, and also coming into the love and the action with the attitude that I am my sister's keeper. And having said that, sometimes the reality is we have to identify really who our sisters is. I have a motto or just a philosophy or a principle that I live by: count your ones. So I know that we're here for the collective, but sometimes there's a filtering activities that have to go on, because just because it came from the same womb doesn't mean I'm worried if you got your bills paid when I got mine paid. And so that's part of the dynamic we'll get into as we look at business, because there's that trust factor that has to take place as we build and develop in the local community, the national, and of course the international community. So let's talk a little bit about the SHEROES. One of our core values, which is protect your womb, protect your sister, protect your nation. That's our mantra, and that's how we start. So when we talk about protecting our womb and the work that it takes, I think that goes to kind of the definition of sisterhood and what we have to do as individuals. When we talk about protecting our sister, that is the essence of sisterhood. And protecting our nation is looking at all of our sisters in our bigger, community. So I guess I would like to ask you ladies, I guess I'll start with Corinne again. When we talk about womb work, and how that impacts our decisions and the way we interact with sisters, protect your womb, what does that mean to you?
Okay,
When you hear those words.
So a lot comes to mind, and I actually want to focus on the point you made about impact. The work that we do as women, just in we mother, right? We know that we are the creators of life. We understand that womb work can literally translate into life, creation, bringing things into existence. And that can be seen on multiple levels. Even in creativity, we birth ideas. We birth nations, we birth motivation. And I feel like when we break apart certain family dynamics, it is hard for just us as a human nation, our men included, understanding and respecting the feminine energy and respecting the value and the impact and the influence that that has on people. It can really be impactful because it motivates nations. Men go to war over women.
Wow.
Right? Right? I mean, that's really a thing. Men go to war. They will conquer lands and take over nations. Right? You have to see how powerful that is. And you go back to our ancestry, we were worshipped. You understood that if the queen, wife, woman, mother, look at how the chessboard is played. Right?
Only with the queen.
Right? I mean, the game may end when the king dies, but the queen is who makes this game happen. You know what I'm saying? The king can only sidestep once. You gotta have the queen going up and down the board, her strategy, right? The precision that I think comes with the feminine mind, I don't think that gets respected, at least not in a lot of societies. I know that we struggle sometimes when, as women, to respect our own femininity. And I think that that's something when we talk about womb work too, for us as women to know what it means to carry divinity, to be that example of divinity, showing that to our sisters, to our children, to the kings that we're supposed to be helping move the world to. Like, this doesn't happen without us. And so that's what womb work looks like.
Yeah, y'all hear that? Okay. From the mouth of our youngest.
Yes.
She wrote Sisterhood.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I want to build on that, you know, with the understanding that protecting your womb and what that is giving birth. Giving birth to something creative, giving birth to nations, just the concept of giving birth, as well as being identified as the queen on the board. I think that's a very appropriate application and analogy to this conversation, as we have to move as women on this global board to develop business for ourselves. And so I guess I want to frame my second question kind of around that. You know, how can we use our ability as women of African descent, African women, to navigate the global terrain, to be able to build, advocate, tear down, whatever other things need to happen to get us to the place that we're empowering and building our own independence. So I guess that's a wide open concept, but what real strategies, I guess I'll pose this to Sister CJ, and we'll come to you, Kim. What strategies do you think that we can use our position, our feminine essence? How can we leverage that in building our sisterhood and protecting our sisterhood, and even in a business context?
I think, and I love the analogy of chess. It's one of my favorites. I think in relation to memoir and in relation to positioning, we are divinely given our position and understanding what we're born with, and establishing that queendom as early as possible, and utilizing preparation, duplication, and application to really position ourselves. We have all of these other players on the board. And yes, the queen can make all of these moves, but you have your pawns, you have your rooks, your bishops, you have all of these other people that need to be employed, that need to be inspired, that need to be in line with what the movement actually is. And the queen has the ability to inspire inspire them by preparing herself. Understanding how to keep your cup full mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, so that you can be prepared